Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Njenje Media TV. As usual, my name is Mazes, okay? And you are welcome to my Friday Hangout. And in my Friday Hangout today, I have an amazing guest. And I've told many of us that follow me that this is going to happen today. I want you to do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share this stream. This evening, you will hear something that is likely to blow your mind: the injustice of the electoral system in Nigeria. Here, you're going to hear firsthand how individuals that were meant to contest election in Lagos were denied that opportunity. Questionings: was it that the ruling party was so scared that these individuals were going to really smack down on them? What was the reason why they stopped them from contesting? Not only that they stopped them from contesting by ensuring that they did not appear on the ballot paper. Beyond that, even when they've gone to court, they've gone ahead to do some things that when you hear them, you will begin to lose hope on this nation called Nigeria. However, we are not going to give up. This evening, I have the rare privilege of having one of those individuals that has been in the forefront of what I just narrated. Today, I have here with me Eunice, who contested for Apapa Federal Constituency. Eunice, for a form of introduction. I will do that shortly, but let me bring her in and for us to say hello first. Eunice, you're welcome to Njenje Media TV.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you very much for agreeing to join me. After hearing your story, I said I must bring this story to the world. It's not only going to be good for my ear. For those of you who do not know who you are, for a mere way of introduction, I would say that Unit Achedida, basically ran the presidency in 2019. She is the one that founded the National Interest Party with fellow law students and NYSC students in 2017. Again, in 2019, when she ran and supported, she was supported by hundreds of, hundreds of voters, especially women. As you all know, in 2019, that party, NIP, was deregistered by INEC. However, shortly after that, in 2021-2022, as the obedient movement began to gain momentum, she joined the obedient movement. She was with Peter Obi all the way. In the international tours and all the states in Nigeria where campaign did happen. This is a great feat. Eventually, she was the candidate for the Apapa Federal Constituency, for the House of Representative. The Court of Appeal, as since that event has happened, has ordered that all the she went to court and they are still in court to ensure that their names being put back in the ballot paper. Let me not do all the talking. I will say, Eunice, you're welcome once more to Njenje Media TV.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
let me start by kick-starting this conversation. Let me ask you, what prompted you to join Peter Obi? You ran for presidency. In fact, let me go back. Before the obedient movement. Let me go back. What were you thinking? A young woman like you in 2017. I mean, you were young. So what were you thinking to run for presidency? Because if I recall,
Well,
that was when you ran the presidency when with I think Obie Ezekwesili
not
was
be on
also
the wrong deal.
Yes. So
He came
what
in
are you
way
thinking?
late
Let me
in the
start. What were you thinking? What prompted you to even go in to register that NIP party?
Okay, first and foremost, I studied law in the UK, so I practiced in the UK, but then I came to Nigeria to join, to do the Nigerian bar qualification. So in that process, where a lot of us that came from the UK and other countries were seriously moved by the events we saw at home. There was just so much happening that we felt we had to come and, help salvage the situation. Then, on the 1st of October 2016, I heard Peter B account for his time in government. He had a show, or he was talking on the platform, 1st of October 2016. And then when I listened to him, I realized that politics in Nigeria may be dirty to a great extent, but it doesn't mean that everybody is joining the fray. So I realized that there were people, at least Peter Obi is one person who was doing the right thing, even sitting right there within the big rot that is the problem of our country. So I just made a decision immediately that okay, I was going to go into politics and I was going to do my best to at least get into position and do my things the way Peter Obi has done them because I could see that it was possible. So I made up my mind and then I set out to mobilize at least from the law school and the NYSC groups in that set, the set before and the set after mine. Started mobilizing amongst them. And before you know it, we wanted to join a party, but we realized that joining PDP, APC, whoever was going to were going to take very long to come into the national space and to be able to get so eventually we decided to form a political party of our own and I led it. I helped, mobilize the students and the NYSC kids, and then we formed the party, and then I helped sponsor, especially women, young, very brilliant women who wanted to come into politics. I gave them free tickets. A lot of them came in and took tickets under the National Interest Party. And then we all went out there. Then I raced for the presidency because what we really wanted to do at the National Interest Party is bring all the political parties with new breed politicians together. All the Showore, what's that guy's name? I can't remember their names now, but we reached out to everybody and we're pleading with everybody to come together. Let's just have one of us, and the rest of us will follow that person. I will support the person and see what kind of achievement we could have in the circumstances. Even if we don't win, we'll pave the way for a future win. But it didn't work out. Everybody just wanted to be on the ballot paper. Everybody felt they were going to win the presidency, and then eventually everybody ran. And I too ran because of course, my destination is the presidency. I do believe I'll become president of Nigeria. It may take me 10, 20, 15, 30 years. I don't care. But I do believe that I'm going to get to that presidency. However, I wasn't expecting to win the presidential race in 2019. It was mostly an opportunity to put our voices, a lot of us, young people, women especially, who wanted to speak for the people and, be part of the decision making for this country. So we all came under the NIP, worked really hard. None of us won, but quite a number are SAs, PAs, a lot of them have even run for office again and coming somewhere. So we're getting there. We know that it takes a while to get political relevance and get power. And some of us are investing that time, that energy, that money, that's learning the system and figuring out how to adjust the system when we get the opportunity, when we are given power to do it.
So in all this, you've given us the your journey so far and how it came to be. I recall that within the time frame you were talking about, there was this bill not too young to run. Did that play any role? Did
That's
you play
actually
any
how
role in
I
that bill?
was. Yes, it was only because yes, it was only because of the not too young to run bill that I even qualified to race for the presidency in 2019. Otherwise, I was not up to 40. So if you were not up to 40, you can't race. But because the not too young to run bill had become law, I was then able to represent the National Interest Party on the national stage. And that helped us a lot because all the other people who were racing at the state level, at the National Assembly level, for the even the later councillorship and everything, we had quite a bit of, I mean, we had that national spread, because when you race for just the Guba, you're going to race only for your state. When you race for the state senate, you're going to race only for that senatorial district. If you race for the House of Representatives, like that. So the only opportunity to race nationally and have coverage all over Nigeria and potentially internationally, because I was invited for a lot of interviews, CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera. I had a lot of opportunities to speak on an international platform that I may not have had if I were racing in the States. So that publicity was helping all the other people who were racing in various states, local government areas, senatorial districts, and all. So the race, my race, helped us a lot with free publicity and easier reach, because sometimes we had to go to the north to campaign so that those people who were racing in the north also could get an opportunity to come out and speak to the people too. So it helped a lot that I was racing for the presidency. It
So
helped a lot of the other people Ghana support.
so in all that time that you've invested in that, nobody from your party, NIP, at that point was able to get to the National Assembly or State Assembly or council. Okay.
No, that was actually why we ended up deregistered.
So what's
None
so
of
now?
us won anything.
No,
And we didn't
okay, go ahead, sorry.
we didn't even make, there was some, they adjusted the constitution, and the adjustments required that we would have 25% of the national spread for our party in order to stay registered. Is because we couldn't meet that 25% national spread requirement that they registered us. If we had been able to meet that 25% of the voters in Nigeria requirement, we would have been okay.
So you know that what could be the lesson learned? Obviously, having not won any of those.
Oh,
seats.
several.
Can you just tell us
Several.
some of them?
Like,
Yeah.
yes. Number one, you learn party structure management. You learn the intricacies, especially for Nigeria. You know, lots of us are used to how things are done internationally in the West, in the Middle East, in other parts of the world. But it's very different in Nigeria. Now, without coming into that system the way we did, a lot of us, me especially, would not have understood the way the Nigerian electioneering system works. And if you do not understand it, you won't be able to change it. You won't be able to do the things that need to be done in order to see that everything is working the way it should in Nigeria. So one of the first things we learned was that Nigeria is special. You cannot deal with Nigerian politics the way you deal with politics anywhere else in the world. And the only way to know how it works was to come in there and begin to see it from within. So that was the first thing. The first takeaway for me was, okay, this is not business as usual. I've worked in the US, I've worked in Germany, I've worked in the UK with politics, and Nigeria is just different. You know, so you can't do it in Nigeria the way you do it in these other countries. You have to learn the language, you have to learn the system, but you don't have to become the system. I am really happy that it's men like P2B I have to look at to understand how to work the system. You don't have to become it. You can actually be yourself, stay free from all the, dishonesty, all the greed and wickedness. You can stay away from all that even while you are right in the system. And realizing that was something I couldn't have done if I hadn't come in there and, taken the baton and gone out there to, figure it out. Like, what we basically did was learn on the job. Okay, we are racing for the presidency. Whatever comes, comes. Whatever we learn, we use it for the next one. It has been very useful. I mean, coming into the obedient movement with people, a lot of those things we saw. And then those people we knew from the different places, the ones we could use, we used. The one we needed to get rid of, there were ways to handle issues that I would never have been able to do if I hadn't come into the system the way I did back then in 2017, 2019. There was so much to take away, so much.
So you just, while we were talking now, you mentioned that you've worked in the US. Obviously, I don't believe you can work in the US or Germany without living there. So does it mean you lived in Germany?
I lived in Germany for a very long time.
Really?
In which
city? You know why I picked interest in that part is because I also have some touch point with Germany. So where city did you stay in Germany?
Oh, I lived in Ziegen. Ziegen in the Northern Westphalen. It's not far from Köln and Bonn. So those were like
I know where
center points for
Ziegen,
us as students. Okay, I was at the University of Ziegen. I was studying Betriebswirtschaftslehre, which is
which is
business administration there.
business management.
Yeah, exactly. So I did that all the way to diploma Kauffrau. So
Wow,
we used
that's
to
nice.
have a
Vatima. I know many people are watching us from Germany. So because I can see some, so Vatima, das heißt
yeah,
Sie können Deutsch.
yeah. Ich
Ja?
kann super gut Deutsch. Ich kann eigentlich
Echt?
muttersprachlich Deutsch.
Echt? Hast
Ja.
du Deutsch studiert?
Ich habe Deutsch studiert, ich habe da gewohnt, ich habe ein bisschen lang in Deutschland gelebt und all meine Kinder sind in Deutschland geboren. I always ran back to Germany to make babies. I didn't have babies at all
Echt?
in the
Wie
UK.
viele Kinder,
So anytime I needed to
wie viele Kinder haben Sie?
have und ein Enkelkind. Ich habe ein Enkelkind.
Wahrscheinlich haben Sie das von Ursula gelernt. The woman,
She's a strong woman.
I think she had 6.
I think she had 6 and she adopted 2 more.
2 more, 8 children. I can remind me of her position in the German government.
Before she adopted INEC.
Okay.
It's been long,
Anyway,
I've known.
so
She was
it's
one
good.
of the PS.
Okay, so it's good to know, all these touch point and trajectories that you had, and because of Peter B, you decided to now come and help with his campaign.
Walk away
So
from
were
it
you
all.
part of the the presidential campaign?
I was part of the presidential team. In fact, the obedient movement. A lot of us that came together when people be moved literally just came in and picked places. I went out doing fundraisers. Then, of course, I picked the tickets. I did the substitution primary in Apapa, and part of it is also strategically being able to campaign and win votes for the election, especially the presidential election, and then for people like me who needed to go to the National Assembly to support his policies. So it was very important that we placed ourselves strategically. Some of us going to the National Assembly, some of us taking over some states, some of us just being on standby to become part of the workforce that would support him to, deliver the good governance that we all came together to make sure that we deliver. So yes, I was part of the campaign, Labour Party campaign from House of Representatives, from House of Assembly level all the way to the president, especially for Apapa and Enugu, because I was born and brought up in Lagos, so I'm one of those more Idileko. I actually feel more comfortable and more at home in Lagos. But my parents are from Enugu, so there's always that connection to Enugu. So I tend to be interested in what's happening in Enugu. So I follow up. Okay, what's happening? What's happening? Okay, we need to campaign. We need to improve. We need to do this. I know this person. I did this before. Let's use this. So there was just so much coming together, and then knowing that I did the National Interest Party on the national level, I have my units also practically in every part of the country. So Enugu was important to me as much as Lagos was. So I really did quite a lot of grassroots work for both, for both parts of
there is something I picked from the statement you just made now. You talked about strategic placement. That is placing yourselves within the national, state level, for the incoming government to help out. Do you think that strategic placement was one of the reasons, that led to the names, including yours, missing in the ballot paper? That's the next point that we'll get into now.
They were very afraid of us, and they should have been. In fact, I wish they hadn't even seen us coming at all. Some of them could tell that some of these people who were coming into this obedient movement were dangerous people. So they were trying to stop us. In many places, in Lagos, for example, the people who were working against us, they were part of Labour Party. Don't get that wrong. They were part of Labour Party, but they were working against our interests, potentially because of their affiliations with APC or other opposition people. We don't know, but they were actively working against our interests, blocking us in every way they could. They did it in Enugu, they did it in Lagos, they did it in Plateau State. So many places. Lagos was interesting for me. Enugu was extremely interesting for me. So I fought hard for those two states, making sure that they did not sell us out in Enugu, so that at least Idelga, who was serious about winning the Guba, and then some of the other guys who were very serious about going to the National Assembly, let them get the ticket. So all the external forces that were trying to maneuver, we fought them to the ground. Then in Lagos, oh my God, it was hell from the same day. In fact, when in fact some people when they heard that our presidential candidate and our party leader, Professor Patitomi, put me in Apapa in Lagos, they're like, why are they punishing you? I said, no, they're not punishing me. They know this is a job
But
I
hold
can
on.
do.
Let
So they
me
are
let me
trusting me
let me
to
hold on.
deliver.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me backtrack a little bit because I want to know why
Yeah,
Apapa. But before I do that, let's listen to this of this video.
yeah.
Good policies and implementing good legislation. Today, I am an international lawyer qualified to practice in Nigeria and in the UK, and I'm here to seek your support, my good people of Apapa Federal Constituency. I want to represent you at the next assembly. Please help me. I am experienced in bringing good policies and implementing good legislation, and I want to bring this to bear for us so that we can have better education for our young people, who have much better and affordable healthcare for everybody. Our youths will have jobs that they can be proud of and use in developing and creating that future they dream. The water clogs, the lack of potable water, the bad roads and the congestions that we experience on our roads around this constituency, can begin to see all of those become a thing of the past. These are the things I am begging you all to support me so I can get out there and help bring to our community, and also add my voice on our behalf to the development of policies and implementation of legislation that will give the whole country the opportunity to move together and develop and become and take its place in the Committee of Nations. Please support me, because I am guaranteeing I'll give us the best possible representation at the 10th Assembly. Thank you.
So this was one of the videos you did during the campaign. Do
Yeah.
you think that this video is one of the reasons why they got scared of you? Because suddenly you started in that video, you talked about lack of water and lack of, bad road. Obviously, everybody know about the bad road in Apapa because of the wharf. Then the question I'll ask is, why Apapa? What is your route in Apapa?
I was born and brought up in Lagos State, and I've always, in fact, all my life I was in Lagos. I wasn't even one of those kids who were opportuned to travel to mom and dad's village or whatever. We're just Lagos, Christmas, New Year, every time. So Lagos is like home. It's actually home to me, and I understand it better than the East. I am more comfortable there, having been born there, schooled there. At least all my primary, secondary school education were there in Lagos. I only went to University of Ibadan for my first degree, but it was Lagos always. And Apapa was that place where, I mean, it was the expatriate people who were mostly there back then when we used to go on holiday. It was really beautiful in my young days when I was a kid. So coming back home and seeing how unfortunately dilapidated my place was, I thought, no, I have to come in and begin to bring at least, relief, do something to make Apapa what it used to be again. It has gone so far from what it was when I was a kid growing up in the area, very far. And I would like to see Apapa was actually designed to be the Dubai of Lagos. Like it was, when you come in there, you see the bridges, you see the buildings, very Western, very, you could tell that it was a really beautiful city at some point. But we don't have that anymore. It's streets everywhere, no water, swamp in so many areas. They don't even have potable water. Like most of the times when we are moving around, trying to convince people to vote for Labour Party and all, one of the things you hear from almost every community is that they need water. So we had to do a lot of water projects, putting boreholes for people, even supplying water, because sometimes the communities have like pure water sellers who are strong men and women in the community. So they don't want you to come and put boreholes or whatever, but you can now get them to accept that you bring like gallons and gallons and gallons of water to come and distribute, or tens of thousands of bags of water to come and distribute. So water was a major factor for a lot of the ordinary people in Apapa. So we made it a major issue for us throughout the campaign, providing water solutions to the people. It's still ongoing. We still do projects which brings water to the people up to now in
So,
Apapa. So that's
you know,
why I love Apapa. I knew as a child, and I wanted to come back again if
so you
possible.
made you made 2 points here that Apapa is home. Lagos is home. That's where home is, because that's where you were born, that's where you were raised. You sent me this video. I want you to speak to the audience about this video, because I've watched this video, but I couldn't make much sense of it. I can see GP tanks in boat. Was it that Apapa that sits underwater, that you guys were delivering water to the people of Apapa? Or, I mean, just, you know, make sense of it.
Okay. Okay, Apapa has like communities that are on land, and then they have communities that are in water, like the islands, basically. Now, the island communities are unfortunately the worst hit when it comes to this water problem. Then they also don't want you to come in there and put boreholes. It's not a solution they're happy with. And when you are helping or trying to bring solutions to communities, you have to tailor it to their needs. You have to try your best to match what the community as a whole is requesting. Not just bring your own solution. You need water, there you come. No, 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 no. Because you need them to work with you. You don't want them to come and spoil the borehole after you put them there. So you need to be in agreement, in alignment with whatever it is that the leaders of the community are saying, yes, this kind of help we can take. And for those island communities, they wanted us to bring them pure water, like just clean water. They didn't want us to come in there and dig boreholes, but they were happy for us to keep shipping water to them. So we did that. We just literally load up boats of water and cross the island and give it to them. So we did a lot of that for the island communities. And then for the mainland communities, we sunk boreholes, repaired some of the boreholes they had that had issues, maybe pump, maybe mechanics, maybe we repaired a lot of them and we sunk some for some. And we're still like doing, I mean, whenever there's a little change, we'll look for one community or the other, go in there and put something there for them. So water is a major, major concern for Apapa, and we try our best to meet their needs in terms of
Okay,
providing
so
water or long-term potable water solutions.
for clarification purposes, the video playing now is you guys were using boats to move water from mainland to the island of Apapa, to a place that is water itself. Then you're getting water outside, inside water. I'm trying to
I
make
know
sense.
you think it's funny, but that's just it.
No, it's not, but I'm
Yeah,
just trying
it's
to make
crazy.
sense
Like the
because
government,
I can't comprehend. So
it's
you
just
guys
what
are
it
trying
is.
to get.
They need that surrounded by water, but the water they're surrounded by is not drinkable. You can't even use them to wash clothes or whatever. So they need clean water. And that's something that you still need to negotiate with them how to provide. Our preference would be to sink boreholes because that's what is working in most of the mainland communities. But these island communities, they resist it. I don't know whether it is cultural beliefs or just, but we don't want to delve too much into areas that will not make us conflict with people we need on our side because they give us a lot of votes. They actually cross into mainland communities to vote because sometimes the ballot papers don't get to them. In fact, it was recently The INEC created ballot zones for them on their island, but most times they actually cross over to the mainland community to come and vote. So we can't afford to leave them out of whatever, reach out,
True.
community outreach
True.
programs we're
Yeah.
doing. So we have to consider them and make arrangements for them. And if water is all we have to do, then we have to invest in that. And if it
Okay.
is, crossing the water over every other week or month or even till now, we still do it because we
Okay.
didn't want to start things to people sustain. So
Now,
even now, we may not be able to bring 50,000 gallons, but at least 10,000, 5,000 we will always bring.
okay. Now, on a general terms, before we go into what happened to you in Apapa, what is your take on the way the election was conducted in Lagos, and what were your experiences? I recall there was a video you made the day that went viral. When I say viral, crazy viral. You were speaking in Yoruba, where they were changing votes in your presence. Can you take us through that journey?
Yeah. Yes. So the election proper, funny enough, we thought was such a wonderful experience because it started as if we're really going to vote and count votes and whatever. But then in the afternoon, when the voting rounds were getting, to the end and it was time to start collating, we began to hear stories about glitches with uploading results. Like a lot of stories started coming. I told my teams, look, it doesn't look good. We all have to be super alert. Then they started moving away from the collation centers that were agreed and moving to other locations for collation. And from 2019 experience, I know that when it starts like that, there's trouble. But we didn't know what exactly to do. So we just basically started following it. We followed all the different local government area collation centers and we followed them all the way to the central collation center. Then the whole of INEC officials disappeared. In my mind, I was like, hey, kata kata don't bust. But we decided to do vigil. We didn't leave. We stayed there. We were just, in fact, I didn't leave at all. Some people would take turns, they would go sleep some hours, come back. I did not leave. When I started spotting them back, I started following them. Now, I had to be doing the recordings secretly because when I was first doing it, they were the DSS, the police, they were really all over me. So I started doing the recording secretly. And then, of course, they were tipexing results, they were rewriting results. Some of the master sheets that they brought, they were now changing results. I was like, what? An election, we were like 100% winning. Like the obedience had done an amazing job supporting this whole project in Lagos. It was clear. But for some reason, these guys were changing everything. It was horrible. So, of course, as usual, I started making trouble. I was making trouble with DSS, with police. Then the APC guys now gathered. And they're like, I should calm down, that they can take care of me, however much money I need, and they can promise me positions with the governor or even let this man go now in the 2027 rounds. We'll take care of you. We'll let you go. I said, no, guys, you don't understand. This one when we win, who and live out for us. Let's talk about next 2027 after. But this one, no, who and live out. So it actually got quite dirty to the point where they started cocking guns on us and everything. It was really bad. So in fact, at a point, the GSS guys who were very sympathetic to our cause had to beg me to get out because they were about to start, shooting or stabbing and things like that. So I had to pretty much beg my team to, quietly leave and me to leave. Then they actually put a bounty on my head because the thing went so like it was spread all over the world. People were making calls, calling what's happening. And obviously, we started raising up everybody who was sleeping in Lagos. Get up, guys, we're in trouble. These guys are changing the results because a lot of us waited to see the final results that were uploaded or that should have been uploaded before they left. But having left, I think it was just that we suspected things were not okay. That's why we followed them and when we discovered this was happening around 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. So that's how we discovered that they were changing results. Most people had already finished and submitted their results sheets and gone home. So we had to start waking absolutely everybody up. Go back to the collation centers, go back to your local government area. Muna no grill, these guys want to cheat us out. That was how we were able to even stop them from completely turning their results upside down, because we won the election by more than double of what they announced. And they could have potentially even completely taken it away and claimed that they won, but were able to stop it because a lot of people went back to the collation centers and gave so much trouble that they had to eventually announce P2D as the winner of the election. The state election was a whole different story. And I predicted it. We had a stakeholders meeting in Abuja with our presidential candidate and quite a few of the stakeholders and the chairman of Lagos and all that. And I told them, look, we need more than we have for Lagos, especially. Lagos was winnable, but if we did not prepare better and put out much more strong forces, especially in terms of coalition and result management and security, they were going to kill us. Like I told them, these guys would come out guns blazing. And that was exactly what happened. So Lagos for the Guba elections it wasn't an election, it was just war. It was real cool. Like what they're doing in Niger is nothing because they're not even killing anybody. The election for the Guba in Lagos, that was kill them all. That's what it came down to.
Wow, what a story. Now, coming back to your own experience, you were the candidate for Apapa representing Labour Party. You were supposed to be in that, but I mean, if they didn't what they did, you should be in the National Assembly by now, right? Yeah. Probably being among those. Yeah, probably being among those that God's will, like Babio, will be sending prayers in their inboxes.
That's Senate. However, I am actually not in support of all this distribution of funds. In fact, I've been having a lot of problems with our Labour Party candidates who have gone through. Well, for me, we're supposed to be speaking out on behalf of the people. We are all chasing this power in order to get in there and begin to represent the people. And for me, if we are representing the people, we should not be sharing money, not in this time that Nigerians are in so much pain. You know, we should be looking for ways to save money so that more money can go to help the people. The more the government officials and the elected officials are taking money, the less is available for the average masses to get transport, to get good roads, to get hospitals, to get school books or whatever. So I do not support all this sharing money that Akpabio and whoever else is doing in the National Assembly. And I wish and I hope that our colleagues who came in, at least these new faces, new names that we sent in there, we sent them in there to go and right the wrongs, not to go and join them. I mean, I would like to see more of our people making noise about all this sharing formula. It's not correct because the more they share, the less we have for the people to benefit from. So I don't support it at all.
Okay, you do not support what is currently happening in the National Assembly. So were you to be in the National Assembly? Or hold on. Were you to be in the National Assembly, or when eventually you get there, are you promising this platform that when they want to do something like that, we will see somebody shouting, I no agree, this is not correct?
God bless you. I swear to God, I'm sure that's why they don't want me there, because I know they follow crowd. I cannot follow crowd. I follow my convictions, and I am convinced that the way out for this country is to save money, reduce the cost of government, and release more into the public. Like the masses need more to be able to have normal everyday, like water. They don't have water in Apapa. If these guys are not pocketing all this money, somebody will go and put a portable water system in the whole of Apapa, and the whole of Apapa will have water. But because they're pocketing all this money in the National Assembly, state, whatever, Apapa people don't have water. The roads are messed up. There's soot everywhere. The bridges are broken. Like, things are not working because our government officials are loading their pockets instead of spending the money doing the work they're supposed to be doing. That's why I follow P2D like unapologetically from the first day I heard him speak. He was in the system. He knows this is a rotten system, but he's able to, figure out how to make things work, how to work for the people and make sure that 99% of the people are happy. You can never make everybody happy. But if you're doing the right thing, the majority will be happy. The majority is not those in power. I want to be there so I can push them to do the right thing.
So can you tell us the story that led you to, and some of your colleagues? I mean, how did you feel the day of election that, we had the presidential election? You obviously woke up from your house, went into the field to, mobilize people to vote for you. Getting there, your name, by the time you start reading those, your name wasn't there. Can you walk us through what was the emotional roller coaster? How did you feel, finding out that your name is not in the ballot box?
I think I was very lucky that I came into this fight knowing that it wasn't about me. I knew that from day one. So when we went to inspect, we did inspection 2 days to the election. So when we went to inspect the electoral materials, and I discovered that Labour Party logo wasn't there, I just told my guys it doesn't mean anything because everybody was, oh, mama. I said, no. It doesn't mean anything because as long as Titobi wins this election, nothing they happen. Nigeria would be better for it.
Can I pause you a little
we are
bit?
continuing this work.
Can I pause a little bit? So you knew that your name was not in the ballot box 2 days before the election?
2 days before the election, yes.
Okay.
I knew.
Okay.
I knew. And then I continued the mobilization. In fact, a lot of the team members in Apapa were shocked. In fact, I mobilized even more. Like, for example, we noticed that the names they had submitted to the state as our polling unit agents in Apapa were not real people. Like, they were people that their phone numbers were not going through. We didn't know the names. I knew everybody in my wards. They were not my people. And then our people that were even on the list were in different places. Like, they were put in places they couldn't go. Like, where they live is maybe in Ward A. And then they have to go to Ward Z to go and man polling units. There's no transportation. So how are they going to go from where they live and then not vote? Because one of the things we did was make sure that the polling unit where you are voting is the polling unit you are manning. So you are voting, you are manning. But then they placed people that were even on the list in very strange places. So when I realized that also 3-4 days or 2 days also to the election, we started mobilizing our own polling unit agents. So from that day all the way to the end of the election, the 374 polling units in Apapa, I was visiting them, making sure we had people, making sure that even where we were being attacked by the APC, for example, I will even go and pick from within the APC people and convince them to work for the obedience, because quite a lot of them were obedient. And when they saw that the attack was too much on us, they gladly came out to stand for us, to watch our votes and everything. So I wasn't happy, but it didn't matter because my mindset was anything for this movement. If it cost me my own election to make sure that the presidential results favored us, then that's okay. So it was not, oh, I'm not there, then I go home. No. We fought all the way to the end. In fact, like you said, we didn't sleep. I was awake like 3 days. I did not sleep at all. From that day that my ballot paper wasn't there, I knew there was trouble until the election finished and results started coming out, and we started seeing some 4 a.m. crazy results. I didn't sleep at all. In fact, by the time the whole thing was over, I think I slept for like 6 days non-stop.
So what was INEC's excuse for not including Labour Party's logo in that election?
They didn't come to court to answer. They literally didn't give evidence in court. So we don't know what their reason is.
So has INEC apologized
They
for
haven't
doing that?
Is it only apology? They have just not come out to say anything. They didn't present any evidence. They didn't try to defend themselves. They just literally went mute. Nothing. They didn't answer questions. Nothing. We don't know what their reason was.
Did you, obviously you went to court, because this is one of the things here.
Of course.
You have gone to court, and after an election, you are spending millions going to court. That is the part
Oh
that I
my
think
God.
is really getting
I
people
haven't
angry.
even
So why would
said
you
you.
spend money to go to court for what INEC deliberately has done? I mean, shouldn't the court
Nigeria.
be in a position to sanction INEC for ensuring that Labour Party did not appear on ballot paper in Lagos or some areas in Lagos? Was that the whole
Unfortunately,
of Lagos or
our
some
law.
areas in Lagos?
It was some areas in Lagos. We have 27 National Assembly positions. 14 had candidates, 13 didn't. Or was it the other way? Almost half. So 13 positions did not have logos on the ballot papers, and 14 did. Now, of the 14 that did, we actually won 10 outright, but we only announced for 4. So the others are still in court trying to battle it out and figure out how to get back their mandate. Then of the 13 of us who were left out, I think right now it's just about 4 of us who are still there because either they buy you out or they figure out how to strike you out because it's really expensive. In fact, I paid a lawyer 10.9 million naira to run my case, and the lawyer came to court to apply to dismiss my case. I was just lucky that I usually have other people, watching out for me when I'm not there, so that if there's need for it, there can be an emergency. And then there was one of the obedient lawyers in the room on that day. So when my own lawyer was applying to dismiss my own case, he was taking instructions from the APC lawyer. He would tell, when I am asking them what's going on, he would tell stories about the APC lawyer having told him to apply for adjournment. I'm like, adjournment? We have witnesses waiting to be heard. You're applying for adjournment. So we have to spend more money to bring all these people back to court, prepare them again for the, hearing, and then adjourning. You are the one applying. I mean, if the other people apply for adjournment, it's fine. There's nothing you can do. But you are the
So
person making
your
the
own
applications
lawyer,
for the
sorry,
adjournment.
let's get this
My
straight.
own lawyer.
Your own lawyer that
Yes.
you went out to look for,
Yes.
assign him a case,
And
pay him over 10 million
10.9 million.
naira, and he now comes to court, now says
Yes.
he wants to withdraw the case without your knowledge.
Without even asking me. And he had already applied for adjournment a few times.
People, when you hear this story, let's this sink in. You have a lawyer, you paid your lawyer goes to court to represent you, apparently saying that you have a very excellent case. Now he says your lawyer, without your consent, is withdrawing your case. If this is not criminal and madness, I don't know what else is. What plans do you have to ensure
Nigeria politics
goes to jail?
Oh, I am making applications to the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee. Now, there's no way, I don't believe we can get away from this. I don't believe so. I mean, a lot of people are telling me, no, let it go, it's politics. I said, this is not politics. This is professional. I'm a lawyer myself. I'm qualified to practice in the UK. I'm qualified to practice in Nigeria. And I do a lot of law work in Germany as well. How can you tell me that it is okay, no matter what the inducement is? So why don't you just withdraw and stay away from it instead of going yourself to make applications to, destroy my opportunity to get out there and potentially win this election that I really do want to win? Like, why?
Some people are
unbelievable. Definitely.
Some people are saying that has the orders and the handwriting of Lamidi Apapa. Do you agree? And suddenly that is Apapa. You are representing Apapa. So everything is being Apapanized in your area.
Pampa, the way that what's our brother say? People said that the guy was for Pampas. Anyway, it is a Pampa. It is possible that this is happening from these factions that have always fought against our interests within the Labour Party. I don't understand how people that are part of the unit would literally go against the unit in such a way that you don't even know how it happens. Like, I don't know what to say. Rabambi from day one was just a menace. But I wasn't surprised because I'd known him while I was chairman of the National Interest Party. I was also INEC secretary. So I'd known him, I'd known his antics. Then the Lamidi Apapa group, all those people now joined. But they were not even so, I don't know, until some of the other guys who were reasonable began to see an opportunity. I don't even know what they're after. It's just so crazy. Lamidi Apapa and his people, I just pray to God that we don't have such people coming back or getting power in Nigeria because, I mean, no, no, no. No, I wish that name had nothing to do with Apapa. I love Apapa so much. I don't know why, coincidentally, this man is bearing my constituency's name. I wish I could express my hurt over
Okay.
that in a way that the
So,
world would understand.
so you've spent money contesting for the election, running for the election. Your name was replaced. You are now spending money because it's still not yet ended. Now, many obedients might be watching now thinking this is an incredible story. Myself, because I think the more I hear you speak about this, the more incredible it sounds to my ear. Question is, how do you think that many people can help to ensure that you reclaim your mandate that has been thwarted?
At this stage, the best way to help is maybe to make financial donations because we are not back at the stage of campaign again. We are now in the middle where it's about the laws, it's about the lawyers, the right kind of lawyers representing me and making sure that we get judgments in my favor and that the court orders will be rerun so that we can now go back and repeat the election, which I will win. There's no doubt that Apapa is obedient. I mean, we are so confident that all we really need is an opportunity. We are going to the 10th Assembly. LP is so loved in Lagos. It's only if you have candidates who are not serious about winning that you will now be, dilly-dally. As long as the candidates are serious and can organize, of course, finances is a major factor. If you can organize, the people will come out for you because Lagosians are truly tired, truly, truly tired. Especially when it comes to everything to do with the National Assembly, the presidency. Some of them are still quite sentimental about their Guba or assembly people. But when it comes to the national stage, where the whole world is helping, or I mean, where we are out there doing everything to help the entire country and the community as well, they are very, very ready for change on that level. Very ready. Nigeria,
Well,
they've come.
I think Nigeria has happened. Nigeria has happened to you. Suddenly you
Oh,
are in black
finally.
and white. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
for many people thinking, watching now, how can they help? I think if you're watching us from the YouTube, you will see a pinned message there, how you can help. And to know that I also want to, let me probably open the floor and say that
Hey.
indeed and enough a truth, that this is a noble cause to get involved with. All right, because this is, listening to this story, I think this is an incredible story. Now, for many people watching, you can use the account numbers on the screen. I think quickly, pardon me, let me do search for bank. Let me do my own widow's mite to help your struggle because but again, promise me that you will take it up with the lawyer that really, on this platform we are one family.
I've started. I've started. Yeah.
Sorry?
I've started the process of bringing into the legal practitioners disciplinary committee because I mean he's a lawyer and he has gone far, far, far away from what you are supposed to do ethically as a lawyer. So aside from suing him for breach of confidence, breach of contract, and everything, I'm also taking action against him for doing
So
unbelievable.
I have just sent my little widow's mite 100,000 naira towards the reclaiming your mandate, right?
Yay. Thank you
So
so much.
for many of you in Europe, for many of you in
Oh,
all
thank
over the world,
you.
what you can do is to help. You can use Zelle, you can use PayPal, you can use Nigeria. You know, there are Nigerian accounts I've used. I don't have dollar because if I have dollar, I will jack back from. If I have dollar, I will jack back from Nigeria. I don't have dollar. It is a scarce commodity, you know. So what
Thank
I have done
you.
is to use the Nigerian account. But you know, for many of you watching, please in the comment section you will see you can click. You know, just endeavor to do as little as you can. Now, if you also wish, once you do something, you can use super sticker, super chat as well. But if anybody, you know, I hope you have your phone where the if any alert comes in, so that we can say thank you to anyone.
I'm
Who is that.
looking.
Sorry.
I'm looking. I'm looking.
Okay.
I'm looking. I'm checking. You know, sometimes it takes a while for messages to drop, but I'm checking.
Oh, okay. So I hope the other one the other one is dropped already. So hopefully.
I'm
Now,
checking.
in case you
Okay,
want to
I'll
help,
confirm in a minute.
in case you can help, you want to help, you can use that is Nigeria again, part 2. So you can use the Naira account, you can use the GTB dollar account, or you can use the PayPal,
Yeah.
or you can use your Zelle. So
Yay! Hey, how is it? Oh, can you see?
no, I can. Which one?
Confirm. 100,000 from Izuke Emmanuel Tochukwu. Hey,
Okay,
confirm.
so that's thank you. Okay,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
so that's you know, that's it. Now,
Thank you.
while we hope that others also help. Now, let me also know from you. You are currently in Abuja as we speak.
Mhm,
How does that
mhm.
feel? How does that feel
Yes,
within
as you can
Abuja?
see, I'm at the Labour Party office.
Okay, you are in the Labour Party office. Okay. Oh, I should have thought about that. So now that you are in Abuja and um, mingling around within the echelons of Labour Party, how do you think and what is the feelers regarding the impending, you know, legal pronouncement that is about to happen? Mm.
And from the Labour Party unit, from the legal objective perspectives, the election has to be cancelled. Tinubu has to be disqualified. That's what they have managed to prove. APM did an amazing job. Areas that even the LP and the PDP were not even aware of, they picked it and they made a big issue out of it in terms of nomination of VP for APC. So that ticket is an invalid ticket. From the APM angle, it's an amazing application. Then from the PDP and LP angles, everything about Tinubu points towards fraud, perjury, forgery. So disqualifying him is like 100% certainty based on the proofs that have the evidence that has been presented to court. Then the election, it has been proved also beyond, in fact, reasonable doubt, which is a criminal level of how do you say? Hey, Jesus, they just keep taking life and bringing it back. Anyway, so the standard of proof that I see here is already beyond reasonable doubt that this election was not properly conducted, which is grounds for calling it off, canceling it. And then, of course, we can't prove 100% who got how many votes because a lot of the results were blurred, the beavers were not presented. So we have not been able to actually diligently pick out all the votes that were cast on the day of election. But be it as it may, we've been able to show that Tinubu did not get the votes that he supposedly got. INEC was invited to show how they got the votes they allocated to Tinubu. They couldn't do it. So clearly, from every objective angle, Tinubu is getting disqualified, and a rerun will be conducted. And according to the constitution, the rerun is usually with the person who has the highest number of votes and the person who has the most spread. So the person who is second may not necessarily be the person that is in the rerun, but it's usually two people only. That's what the law says.
So
But in
where
this
does that
situation,
leave? Where does that leave Labour Party then?
the Labour Party is certainly in that rerun because all things being equal, they will disqualify Tinubu. That's the right course of action. They will disqualify Tinubu, and once they disqualify Tinubu, the only two people available for that rerun is Atiku in PDP and Peter Obi in LP. That's what the law requires. But you know my ears, I dey hear things. Niger, when I'm in Abuja like this, I'm hearing things from different places. And I've already heard that they are trying to use technicalities and public policy grounds to keep Tinubu in power. Fortunately for the whole world, Tinubu is messing up big time on the international community. We are being embarrassed every day by everybody who's speaking about Tinubu's fraudulent history, drug history, and everything. It's embarrassing. ECOWAS has started to lose relevance because the leader of ECOWAS is this Tinubu person whose legitimacy as president is not firm and whose background is that dirty. So all the things he's doing, declaring war against the Nigeria and all those things, is infuriating the people who put him in power because, as you know, a lot of times this thing comes from all this interest in the north that they would usually put whoever that they feel will serve their interest. So I believe that they are beginning to realize that they made a mistake. So I am hoping that this public policy excuse they are making and this technicality thing they are planning, I am hoping that within themselves, the katakata will burst there and it will scatter. So that what is correct will be what will happen. And I've heard that by the next week or two, they will give us the verdict, at least at the presidential election petition tribunal. We will know their verdict in the next week or two. So I'm very hopeful that we'll be popping campaign. In fact, one of the reasons I am in Abuja a lot, I come here every week, I'm back here somehow. Like I believe we'll be popping champagne in the next 10 to 14 days.
So
I wish, I hope, I pray.
So from your expectation and the analysis, since the no date is already past 6, so since no date was given today, being Friday, that means it is cancelled that there's not going to be any court action, or rather any court sitting on Monday or probably on Tuesday. So it will not be, even if they give on Tuesday, it's going to be, even if they give on Monday, it's going to be against Tuesday or Wednesday, because they must give at least 24 hours. Is that correct?
They have to give 24 to 48 hours, but they sit on Saturdays and Sundays. Like the way the tribunal is set, there's no day they can't sit. So if they're going to be able to be sitting on Saturdays or Sundays, they should be able to give you notice on Saturday or Sunday as well. So they can wake you up at 2 a.m. on Sunday and tell you that they are giving verdict. They are giving their judgment tomorrow, and you have to be in court tomorrow. So you don't know. And then the way it is now, you may find that they are giving information really late in the night, because they're trying to avoid attention or risk to themselves. You don't know. It's not that easy to predict, but we have enough intel to believe that judgment will come within the next 2 weeks.
So within the next 2 weeks, obviously you've at the beginning you highlighted your involvement within the obedient movement. Assuming that on the unlikely event that the decision does not come out or pan out the way you think it should, what would the obedience do? Would the obedience take it lightly and say, okay, that's fine, let's meet in 2027?
No.
Or are they going to drag everybody to say, we no agree?
I believe it's we no go grill because we've been very patient. And I think right now it's because Peter does not want us to get out there that we have been quiet. But it has come to a point where I think people will not even listen to that keep it low, keep quiet thing that Peter likes to order. I have a feeling right now people are so frustrated, the hunger. Do you know that you can't go anywhere in Abuja? You know how transport used to be 500 naira, 200 naira, so you can transport yourself around Abuja. You can't go anywhere for less than 1K, 800 naira, like from here to there. It's frustrating. No fuel, no food. In fact, happiness is a thing of like a dream now for most people. You just have to be surviving. So a lot of people are hoping that the judiciary will do the right thing. There's still the Supreme Court to wait for, but at least that first relief is something the people in Nigeria really, really, really need right now. And I believe that if the judiciary refuses to grant them that small relief, it may actually turn into a really nasty situation because people are frustrated. Even me now, I'll gladly be in the front lines of the protest. We wait till they fear gun like this. I go enter gutter, make the gun, make the bullet they pass overhead. This one now I fit chest out.
Anyway, it's been an interesting it's been an interesting conversation, and I hope we can do anything we can to mobilize for you to keep fighting for that seat, that an incredible injustice was done, you know, that as many as you as possible that were supposed to be in that ballot box or ballot paper, but your names were conspicuously omitted out, you know, and that is indeed a tragedy. But before we round up here, I would want to also pick your mind on, and obviously we talked about the judiciary and the things that may happen after the pronouncement is given. I then ask you, have you seen those billboards around Abuja that says all eyes on the judiciary? Have you seen any?
I haven't seen this board, but I've seen bad, bad.
Sorry, go ahead.
There are quite a few things: t-shirts, tote bags, handbags, even stickers that are like popping up in many different places. Judiciary do the right thing. Like I'm seeing some things. I've not seen billboards yet, but I've seen banners, stickers, bags.
We have someone joining us here, and for those of you, if you wish to join, we have Onero joining us shortly. If you wish to join us, on the comment section, you will see the link to join. And if you also wish to support, you know, what she's doing and help to ensure, you know, offset some of the legal costs, you know, to ensure that the right thing is done, please, by all means, you can donate through the Naira Bank account, which I've used, or you can use the, you know, GTB, USD, or the PayPal or Zelle for many of you in America, or even GoFundMe as well. So let me bring in Onero here. Onero, you're welcome to Njenje Media TV.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to salute the courage of the lady. I don't know her name. Eunice, right?
Yeah, Eunice, yes.
Yes, we seriously need people. Sorry, let me put my glasses back on this thing. You know, we seriously need people of this kind of ideas. We in the obedient movement back home in Nigeria and worldwide, we have been telling those LP people that are in the Senate and in the House of Reps of us that were in activism in the student union period while we're in school. We were in parliament. We may not align with some of the Ogunje the school want to give to people to suppress the voices of the students. We speak up, even though we are in the minority. We speak up. So we expect that the LP people, that Labour Party movement, who supported Peter Obi from Nigeria, from Europe, in America, in the UK, you know, that they will stand up for the people. Even though they are in the minority. I listened to the senator representing the FCT a day or two ago when she had an interview. She was like, there's nothing we can do. I said, hell no, there's a lot you can do. We, the obedient movement worldwide, some of us, for me, I would like to join the Labour Party, but because I'm not back home in Nigeria, I cannot join at this time, right? There are a lot of people that support this movement, that brought these people into office. Not because we know them like that. No. Not because they have the best of ideas, but because they align with Peter Obi. Right? That they should speak up when they see the abnormalities, because for them being there alone, they see and they know the shenanigans that are being done by the leaders. Take, for example, what the Senate president did a couple of days ago. That he was sending Njenje and whatever, it was caught on camera.
No,
he never knew.
No, he was sending prayers, and I've been checking my emails.
No. He said he has sent some money to their accounts. We know the political game. Some of us have been in it for a long time. But some of us are not the type that could just easily be bought over. You understand the point? But seeing somebody like this, I sincerely still hope that she is not the regular politicians. Because some of the senators, some of the House of Rep members, in my state of Delta State, in my local government, the representative representing my local government in Delta State is from Labour Party. Nobody knows Labour Party in Delta State like that. I'm born in Delta State. I live in Edo State. So we supported the movement, contributed money like the way we're going to do on this platform to support your, legal fight. We expect the people to serve our interests, the interests of the ordinary people. Because Nigerians are suffering. They are hungry. The hunger is real. Those of you back home, you may be feeling it, but some of us overseas, not that we feel it, the impact is having on us. Take for example, before if I send 50K to my mom, it's enough. She can do certain things. But right now, I can't send 50K. The last 2 times, I have to send 100K. People that you sent 10K to before, that appreciate. If you send them 10K, it's not as if they not go appreciate. But it's not enough to buy certain things. So we need people like you. And those we already sponsor. Let me put it that way. I'm speaking on behalf of the obedient movement worldwide. Every platform I get to, I tell them, the obedient movement has come to stay. We may be associated or aligned with Labour Party today, does not mean many of us are Labour Party people. We want a better Nigeria and people to speak up. Because your voice and my voice and his voice, which I've been following for a long time, and follow him on YouTube, and many other platforms. If we collectively join hands together, we will build this nation.
Thank you.
I've been led presently by Peter Obi.
Thank you. So where are you? You joined us from the United States, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. That's nice to have you here. And, I don't know from your side, do you want to also support, like...
Of course I will.
Every little helps.
I will. Certainly I will.
Thank you.
I support the obedient movement in 3 states that I'm affiliated to. I was born in Delta. I was born in Plateau State. I'm from Delta State. Schooled in Benin and Edo State. Worked in Edo State. So I spent my personal money And those of my friends in Edo State, in Plateau State, and in Delta State, have extended to Nasarawa State, where I think we can make an impact. That is where we all join hands together. We will make an impact. That's how this impact is coming. We have to sustain it.
Mm. Thank you very much. Thank
I
you.
love
hope
your contribution. Absolutely, because you are so spot on and put me on your watch list. Anytime you hear that I'm in the house and I am not fulfilling all the promises I've made here to be the voice of the voiceless. In fact, ask Njenje Media for my address. Come and beat me up when you find the address.
We don't need to. We will just come here and bring the video again and come and be playing.
No, but some of us have been. We have given the Labour Party members, both in the House of Rep and the Senate, some space to breathe, because they may be new to the parliamentary processes. Because most time in the parliament, there's law and order. If the speaker or the Senate president does not recognize you, I know some of those politics they play, but the moment they recognize you, you pour out your heart. That is how I did it when I was in parliament in SUG. I moved from the executive to parliament. You
when they don't recognize, when they don't give you the floor, when they don't give you the floor to speak, you go to the media. Begin to make noise in the media. I don't want this. I don't want this.
Now you are talking. I like that spirit. Now you are talking. We are in the Western world. Just to add, give me just 30 seconds, if I may. You talked about your lawyer. That kind of bossman score. In the Western world, whether in the UK or in America or any other sane society, that man, that lawyer, loses his license. I hope you are pursuing that and have sufficient, you say you are a lawyer, you have sufficient evidentiary documentation to show, because that is how the law works. I'm not a lawyer, but I know processes. That person must lose.
In court, she's on my case.
Now listen to you. I was very angry. I was very, very pissed off. That person, whatever it takes, should lose his license. Not only should he should lose his license. In America, it's not going to take time. They don't tolerate that. That is professional misconduct.
So thank you very much. So those of you watching us from YouTube, you can see in the comments section, we've posted the account number once more. You can see the GoFundMe, the Zelle, and the bank accounts and PayPal as well. The two bank accounts, one is a Naira account and the other is a dollar account. And you can also see, the details there. What we keep on saying is that it must cost us something. We cannot sit at home only yelling at our computers or our mobile phones or our televisions. We get involved, and only by getting involved that we get things changed. That's why I have tremendous respect for many people and for the obedient family. These are men and women, very high up in their various respective fields, but they dedicated their time. Some stopped work, some stopped their PhD, their programs, and dedicated their time to work for a year plus. And they paid off. They won the election. So that's why I think anyone watching us now can still help that this case is still in court and that the legal fees are covered. Obviously you've heard how a lawyer was given over 10 million. And that lawyer wanting to withdraw the case. Even the next lawyer that will take the case would not ask you, you don't pay the other man 10 million now. So you have to start afresh. Thank you very much, Fanaro, for subscribing. So many of you, when you subscribe, we see it that you've just subscribed. So and we say thank you to you. And if you're joining us for the first time, please, share this stream, because when you like video, it will show. It will pop up on others. That means with YouTube algorithm, is going to show that you liked it. Those your friends and families. It will also pop up on theirs. You have so many WhatsApp groups, your obedient WhatsApp group, your family WhatsApp group. Also share these videos in there. Let us also understand what is happening. You know, it's not easy. I dove off my hat for those who are basically, taking their time to get into the ring. The only thing you and I can do is to sit back and give them any form of support we can. And in this case, if you want to match me, I just given my own widow's mite. You can match me, but it doesn't mean you cannot beat me, but not, don't come to my house, I beg. You can beat me, can beat me financially to what I have given. So,
There's
Eunice,
a question from King Salem.
okay. So go ahead. Can you take that question then? He says, how do you ensure that
Um,
in both
yes.
houses join the ballot?
The only thing I can say to that is that there's nothing anybody can do. People are who they are, and most times you don't know who people are until you give them money or power. So it is only now that we're going to really begin to see who we have sent to the National Assembly, to the Houses of Assembly, to the states to look after us, because this is the time that we will really see what they are made up of. All the time when they were campaigning, we were just hoping that they will give us good governance when they get the opportunity. Now they have the opportunity, we will now see for real. How do we control them? The most we can do is complain, like come on the socials, call them out. What are you people doing? Why are you not doing this? And then those of us who are close to them can be texting them, calling them out too, but more on a one-on-one level. Other than that, there's nothing we can do, because if you go, for example, and request from the party that the party should begin to sanction them, they'll just move on and move on to another party or to other parties. You don't want to do that. So you want to keep them within the family, but hopefully figure out how to maybe direct them, maybe speak to their consciences, maybe figure out how to maybe even influence them. I don't know, but there is no set way to get the people we have voted to do the right thing on our behalf. There's no set
But
way. So let's
but
hope
but
that
it,
we will be able to get more people who are doing
but it appears that even at the, he's talking about the parliamentarian, but it appears that at the state level, the only state that Labour Party currently occupies is Abia State. Abia State, within the last
well,
2 months plus, is doing exceedingly, that you begin to wonder. There are governors who have been there a couple of years, but within the last less than 90 days, the state is doing exceedingly well. In the comment section, I just posted something that we published earlier today. It says Abia State goes digital on revenue collection, transitions to a Treasury single account TSA system. Now, do you know what that means? It would only take a man of dedication to get that. We know people, my state, for instance, that even before the campaign, you hear we are going to collect our revenue digitally. But it's been how many years now? Nothing is being collected digitally, but rather what we did was to remove the uniform of the Agberos and change the color and resew another uniform and give it back to the same people. And it, like Chinua Achebe said, it has actually ended up being a bird that leaves the ground and perches on an ant hill without knowing that that bird has actually done no movement. It's still standing on a soil. So when you look at Abia State, if you click on that news, you can read it up. Abia, you do know what it means digitally. On your mobile phone, you can use the SSD, or if you have a digital phone, you can actually pay your bill. So there is no middleman. There is no multiple collection. States will now collect. Give them 6 months, 1 year. We will now come back and say, okay, from this data, can you publish it? That is the demand that people and the Labour Party and the obedient must begin to do. They say charity, they say begin. The one you control, you begin to demand. After 1 year, I am expecting that, and this platform is also doing, that the obedient will begin to say, you've been there for 1 year. Or you come and tell us, what have you done? You've been there for, do you understand? Then, for instance, the governor, you can call him and say, you've been there. What have you done? If not for anything, if others want to go naked without boxers or undies, let them go naked. But at least those that are of yours, hold them to account first. I believe by holding them to account, maybe, you know, if not for anything, we can't go and smack anyone, but at least if they come close to you, come to a meeting, you can heckle them. I mean, no one is going to smack you for heckling people. And you're not heckling them because they didn't give you money. You're heckling them because they are failing on their promises. But we hope that they don't fail like others, you know. So we're rounding up now. We are still waiting. Please, everyone, you know, can we support this? Can you support this? No matter how small. So
my screen is black. Can you see me?
Yes, I am. Okay, it appears you're static now. You don't mind? I believe your internet it appears your internet is getting is going a little bit gaga. So let's quickly round up, right? So okay, it's let's quickly round up. I believe she will come back. Onero, you're muted. Go ahead now. Speak again. You are now unmuted.
Yes. I wanted to react to the message from King Salem, who says, how do we ensure that Labour Party parliamentarians in both houses will not join the bandwagon of the Hallelujah boys in Abuja? I have a couple of ideas. You people have said it. There is always, if you put your mind that there is something you cannot do, you can't do nothing. If Peter Obi has sat on the sideline forever, the movement will not have taken forth. In the midst of difficulties, Peter Obi didn't bribe nobody. In the Nigeria that every parastatal, everywhere you go to, everybody wants a bribe. Peter Obi did not bribe somebody. So it's a conscious decision. If they want to make a difference, they will. If they don't want to make a difference, they will hide on the bandwagon of being minorities. However, we as the obedient movement, listen, obedient movement comprises of too many categories of people. Young, old, middle-aged, educated, uneducated, intelligent, tech-savvy. All of them are in this bucket of the obedient movement. They will drag them out. Either on the street, you see what's happening to the judiciary. You say we can't do something. They say we are 4 people tweeting in a room. They say we don't have nothing. And we show them pepper. We have a lot to offer. We will go into our thinking box. If any of the Labour Party parliamentarians will not copy from what is happening in Abia State, we, the obedient movement, have an interest in Abia State, even though I'm not from Abia State. I support the governor wholeheartedly. I follow what he's doing. Every obedient Labour Party agenda, I follow it. Thank God for the internet. Thank God for YouTube. Thank God for Facebook. Thank God for platforms like this and other platforms. We give you thanks. We say we appreciate for providing this platform. Our voices are more than enough to hold them accountable so we can pull them. If they do anyhow, according to Worry, we will see them, they go see anyhow. And they tell you, if they do anyhow, we will mobilize forces to drag them out. We can record them. Yes, we can. We can record them. That is an option that is available to the obedient movement. So if they think and they feel in their mind that the obedient movement will be docile. No, not because you support Labour Party and you will not speak up. You will not act right. No, obedient movement not go take her like that. Anyway, so they should all sit up. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Nero. So I hope, like I said before, everyone that every little helps. Just do the much you can. On that note, I will say thank you once more for joining us. And Eunice, I do now think you have to tender your closing remark then we can call it a day. Thank you very much once more for finding the time.
Oh no, it's you that I have to thank for finding the time to host me. That was very gracious. Thank you so much. And thank you so much also for putting out the request out there and trying to get people to support me. I really appreciate it. And all of us out there, Obedient Worldwide, who have started something amazing. I am so confident that we're going to set this country right and we're going to get in our lifetimes, we're going to see the impact of these sacrifices we're all making. So I encourage absolutely every one of us to keep going, no matter the pitfalls we are experiencing, no matter the delays that we are seeing. Don't give up. Like what we are doing is so beautiful. We have to see it to the end. We've actually already taken in this pregnancy. We have to put to bed. I will have to nurture this baby. I will have to grow this baby, and we're going to all benefit and enjoy from the amazing child that we are raising. So, guys, don't give up. Let's keep going. It's a beautiful journey. It's a difficult journey, but it's a worthy journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being my guest again. And I say good night, everyone, and have a blessed day. On that note, I sign off. Thank you once more for being part of this Friday Hangout. I am Mazi Ezoke. Bye.